What up, your community? Made jambalaya this weekend. Meal prep. Check it out. So first, I'm going to start off with the ingredients. Going to start off with that Trinity, baby. Peppers, garlic, onions, celery, meat, shrimp, chicken, andouille sausage. Going to have 2 cups of rice, assorted sauces, tomato paste, chicken stock, and whatever spices and seasoning you want. Aromatics going to go in with thyme, basil, and oregano. Moving on to the next. All right, so we're going to go ahead and chop up our Trinity. I kind of cheated a little bit, used the food processor, but we got garlic and onions, celery, and peppers. So basically that's it. Gonna throw them in the food processor, chop them up, make my life easy. I'm kind of new at this stuff, so whatever makes my life easier, gonna do that. So once we get it chopped up nice and good, gonna throw it in a bowl. Gonna do the same to our other portion of the Trinity. Turn the heat on medium, throw some oil in the pot. This is a 1-pot recipe. It's pretty awesome, pretty self-sufficient, easy for those of you who don't like to do dishes. Throw that in there, get the oil going, get the pan nice and hot for that Trinity. So we're gonna scoop out our onions and garlic with our favorite spatula. Thank you, Stephanie, for that. Make sure you get as much of it as you can, because that's gonna give it that classic Cajun flavor. That's what they call it down there, the Trinity. So then we're gonna chop up our peppers and celery. Give it a couple spins around. Make sure it's the size you want. You don't want it too chunky. If you have a couple things that are too chunky in there, just pull them out, chop them up. I did that for one of the 2 of the peppers because they didn't chop up as nicely, but that's fine. Doesn't matter. All good. So we got our Trinity. We got our hot oil in the pan. We're gonna throw our garlic and onions in. Boom. Then we're gonna take our peppers and celery, throw those in too. Boom. Get those things cooked down. Gonna hit it with a little bit of coarse black pepper and some salt too. Let that cook down until it gets a little translucent. Then we're gonna go, while that's cooking, gonna hit our meat. Gonna hit our andouille, chop it up into little slices. Make sure you're getting that to the size you want it. I got those little 1/8 of an inch slices maybe. Go around the whole sausage. Make sure you lead that knife with your fingers. Starting to get a little better at that. Not the best, but with practice comes perfection. So just make sure you're not cutting yourself. Make sure your knife is sharp. That's about the size you want it. And we're going to put that in a bowl. Then we're going to go in. I chose chicken tenders. Makes it easier to cut up. You can do chicken breast if you want. Just dice those or slice those up. Make sure they're about even size. That way everything cooks evenly, cooks down. And we're going to take that and we're going to put it into a bowl next to our andouille while our Trinity cooks down. That's about the size you want. Then we're going to mix around our Trinity, make sure everything's cooked down, looks good, steaming up the phone. Jeez Louise. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go in with our aromatics, hit it with a little thyme. Probably could have chopped that up a little finer, but I was pretty lazy. Hit it with our basil. Yup. Organic. That's the way we like it. Way too expensive, but whatever. Seemed easy to me. Then we're going to hit it with our oregano leaves. Bingo, bango. Yup. And there goes our aromatics. So we're going to take that, mix it around. Should have your house smelling scrum diddly right now at this point. We're going to let that cook down a little bit, and then we'll get our andouille and our chicken in there shortly. Sizzle on up. All right, so we're going to go in with our chicken. Boom. Then we're going to go in with our andouille. Yep, and there that is. And we're going to mix that around, get that browned up. Yep. Not really easy to film and mix while you can't hold a pot. So this is what I got for you. But mix it around, make sure everything's mixed around. And you're going to want to cook down that chicken and that andouille. That's what it looks like afterwards. Mix it all around. Make sure That stuff is cooked through. Then we're going to go in with our seasoning, our stock, and our rice, and our crushed tomatoes. So you're going to go in with the crushed tomatoes. That's going to be the base of this jambalaya. It's tomato based, so one with authentic stuff. Throw some chicken stock in there. Make sure you get as much out as you can. You don't have to get it all, but I like to do that whenever I cook. Make sure I get as much as I can out of what I pay for. So we're going to take that. Then we're going to throw in, I got about 2 cups of rice. Throw that in there. Make sure it's all spread out. I'm going to go in with my seasoning. I'm a big fan of Dano's. Dano's spicy. Go in with about as much of that as you want. I usually just eyeball everything, not a big measuring guy. Then I'm going to go in with my little spicy crushed red peppers. Jingle on about as much of that as you can. Then I'm going to go with my cayenne, my little slow heat action. Keep it Creole, keep it Southern, keep it NOLA. Then we're going to go in with the rest of our chicken stock. Recipe calls for 3 cups. I basically just use the whole thing because I got a little bit more rice than the recipe calls for. And it's going to soak up all that goodness that we put in there before. All right, so just finish that on up. Make sure at least it's covered. That way the rice has all that good flavor to soak up. Then I went with Cajun's Choice, Cajun shrimp seasoning. It just seemed appropriate since this is a Cajun recipe. And I'm going to mix that all together. And then we're going to put that on 45 minutes to simmer. Make sure once it's simmering, since all that stuff was room temp and or cold, you're going to want to get it up to a simmer. And then you're going to want to reduce the heat. And then I let it sit for 45 whole minutes. So while you're doing that, go ahead and hydrate, if you will. Beer o'clock. So I turned it down, but it needs to come up to a simmer first. So put the lid on and then hydrate. All right, while that's happening, take your shrimp. You're going to want to peel them. So I got raw, uncooked shrimp. I marinated them for a little bit in some of my special marinade. These are deveined already, so check that out. You don't want any of that poop stuff in there, so devein those. All right, pot simmer for 45 minutes. Going to take the shrimp out of the fridge. Deshelled, deveined, and marinade. Had been sitting on there for a little bit. And this is what it looked like after 45 minutes. So take the lid off. Holy cow. Yep, everything got soaked in real nice. And the shrimp shouldn't take that long to cook. So what you're going to do now is throw the shrimp in there. And I just made sure they were covered up. That way all that heat from all that jambalaya got all on that shrimp. And they got cooked all the way through. It's really easy to cook shrimp. It's really easy to overcook shrimp. So I went with, the recipe called for 5 to 10 minutes. I went with 10 minutes because I just wanted to make sure they were cooked all the way through. But I just made sure they were covered. And then I laid down the top and then hydrated for another 10 minutes after that. Check it out. Man, that thing smelled amazing. You gotta be kidding me. So put the lid back on. Hit it for another 10 minutes. Went over, watched some TV, hydrated. And then back we come. All right, finished product. Check it out. 10 minutes later, timer went off.
Ooh, I'm not left.
Got a little scoop out of there. Made sure all my shrimp were cooked all the way through. Shocker, they were. Took a little taste bite, and God bless, this thing was amazing. So here we go. Going to the plating portion. This is my meal prep for the week. So I took my 5 meal prep containers and I threw a little bit of spicy mayo on top because I'm a fiend for that stuff. A little bit of mayo, a little bit of spicy ketchup in a bag. Took it, and then that's it.